East and West learning connections.
Helps people of different cultures break barriers and connect with each other.
Together, let's make learning and connections happen.
The tools that we use to communicate with the directors are first set technical drawings, but the primary tool, I think, is the three-dimensional maquette or model. Maquette is the fancy French name for it. All right, so this is the maquette, and you'll see it's just made out of simple things like wooden dowel and paper and bits of cotton and lots of paint. We love paint.
So this song is from a Sleeping Beauty musical that I wrote and presented last year. This is what's called a want song. What is the moment that she's about to sing here? I sit down at the piano, I go, what does this feel like? Well, it doesn't feel like it's a minor key. It doesn't feel like it's a... There's nothing minor about this moment, and it has to have optimism and hope. And she says, this is my life right now. This is what I've been going through. It's not great. I've just been sitting here waiting. I have no control over what I can do. And then she explains more how difficult it is. And that's when the movement starts coming in, because she starts getting stirred.
You are actually dealing with the actor who has to wear the clothes. You're kind of like a reporter for the character. You know, who, when, where, why, and what's the weather like? Are they inside? Are they outside? Are they high fashion, low fashion, poor, rich? All these things. It's like you have to know inside the character. Actor has a lot to say about that too. Pete Donaldson, who's no longer with us, was a very down to earth actor. I think the nicest thing he said to me was, because I worked it out so that Pete could keep his socks on for he didn't have to change his socks, not even at intermission. He didn't have to change his socks. And he just thought that was the best thing, because sort of knowing what fabrics can do and how they can light and how they can help a character. You know, is it a stiff character? Is it a flowy character? And it looked fantastic in the fittings. We had bought the fabric from Ruby International, I think, and all was good. And then we had the scene that he was in this suit, and it turned brown. Differently, yet another reason why we prefer silk, because it gives you consistent colors. So rehearsal costumes are essential to get the feel of wearing a long petticoat. And a lot of times the rehearsal costumes will be like a corset and a petticoat.
I have a core group of people that I go to with everything I do. And that includes people who are great at what they do and give great feedback, but also people who are just really, really negative and not helpful and very critical. I'm really big on getting feedback from people on my work to make sure that I'm hitting the mark. And if 3 people on 3 separate occasions say yes, it's slow. Done. I rewrite it. Creatively vomit. So I just pour out every creative idea, musical motif, anything, and I just write it down, record it on a tape recorder, anything I can, and then I start piecing it together like a puzzle afterwards. I get the ad agency put into AI, give me a song that sounds like this, in this style, from this era, and it did a really good job. I was really impressed and scared, because it was too good. For now, imagine what it'll be in 10 years, right?
The AI didn't really make it up. They stole it from, I use the word stole because that's what they're doing, is stealing it from other artists and other creators and then mashing it together. And it is scary how good it can be.
That's also what we do when we create. I'm influenced by the composers that I listen to. Oh. And I think ultimately we don't know in 10 years. I would say right now, absolutely not. I agree with you 100%.
The other one was a girl with incredibly punked out, pink and yellow hair, just beating on those drums like it was tribal. And I think there was more ferocity in the drums that she was beating than even the crowd. But I also do think it was working the crowd up a little bit. And AA is not going to give you that.
Theater audiences are smaller, movie audiences are smaller. All kind of art form audiences are smaller except for concerts. And my first instinct was, when is it coming to Netflix or streaming so that I don't have to go out to watch it? And I'm a creator, and I'm the one saying that I don't want to go out. So The Man with the Golden Heart is a story about a man who is, it's in the fantastical world of Benjamin Button, that idea where it's reality, but it's just an anomaly. So he's born with a heart of gold, and he helps people who are hurt and struggling. But each time he does, he gives away a piece of his heart, and it kills him. And I wanted to write a show about someone who saw all that, who could help everyone, but at a cost. So his struggle and his journey in the show is, why should I kill myself for this world that's so terrible? Because I'm very pessimistic about the world, but I knew I had to write a hopeful ending. Otherwise, everyone's going to leave going, this guy's crazy. People don't understand how much a musical costs to make. I can give you an idea. A small theater, like an 800-seat theater musical with a 5-piece band and a 10-person cast, we're talking upfront costs of about $750,000. She answered, and it changed everything for me. So I said, why should I do it? Why should I do it? And then she said, if you're going to look at it from those points of view, then no one would make art ever. Our purpose and our passion. And Ron actually said this to me once. You said something about my talent, and you said, it is a crime to not continue offering your art to the world, because you have a gift to share. We have to produce what we are passionate about. That will break that circular echo chamber of AI art. We must have artists creating what they want to create unabashedly, wholeheartedly, diving in headfirst to create true art. And it could be awful, and that's fine. That's part of the process. As soon as you give them a screen, it's done. They're gone.
There was a baby in the stroller in the elevator at the bay
with a screen.
With a screen,
yeah.
Like you look at the tape and you like to see that it's a job well done, and I know with any work that I do, whether it's a sketch, whether it's a costume, whether it's a prop, there's a certain point when it's done. And if you keep working at it, it'll get overdone. But that feeling when you know that it's done, it's such a great feeling. She had this whole entire reminiscence of what, particular buttons that I had chosen for a dress had done to her memory and her happiness that day. And she obviously felt strong enough about it that she wrote a letter, and it doesn't get better than that.
Can I add to that?
Yeah.
And then my cellist friend goes, no, there's a screw in my head that's different than your head. You don't have this screw. This screw makes me practice 10 hours a day. And I have a screw in my head, and Charlotte has one in her head, where I can't do anything else.
I think there's always been a bit of that protest thing in my own life personally, because of when I grew up, with being very young in the 60s, but still having that whole protest feeling around. At the Shaw Festival in 1984, we did an immersive piece about 1984, and we took over the whole town. We had the audience, I guess it was about 900 audience that we fit into coveralls and marched into different places around town or put them in school buses. You know, we almost had the American Army buzzing the town, but somebody found out about it. So that got canceled. We had book burnings. We had all kinds of the bad totalitarian things that happen in that book. You know,
because I was born here and raised here, one might think I am Canadian, but I am not. I'm not viewed as Canadian. I'm not accepted as Canadian. And if I were to go back to Korea, where I've never been, I would not be accepted as a Korean. So there is a book out there. I can't remember what it's called. I don't know if it's called The Lost Generation, but that's me. I'm caught in between two worlds. So my self identity has been forged by my accomplishments. There's a lack of cultural grounding that I experience. So for my art, I just write what I know, what I experience, what I feel, what moves me, and that's all I can really do. I can't. My wonderful girlfriend, who's right there, she says to me all the time, like, you just have to do what you do. You can't try to please this organization or this audience. And you just could, all you can do is what you do, and do it great and do it as loudly and proudly as you can. So that's what I do. And through that, whatever my identity or cultural identity or how people see me is, that's up to them. I can just be me and do me as well as I can.
And then you get into a situation where you are, you know, treated not the same in the carpentry shop because you're a woman. So you do, I think, over the years, you know, you end up getting some kind of a shell to make sure that you are taken seriously.
For inquiries, please contact info@eawlc.org or visit our website at www.eawlc.org.